So one of the biggest battles we had whenever we were deciding where to buy a home was Bexley versus Starkey Ranch. So I'm going to break that down according to 4 different categories and let you get some nuggets. This is totally my opinion, so take it for what it's worth, but I'm going to give you my 2 cents on what I think about both. And hey, by the way, my name's Chad Leonberg, and I'm a local real estate agent here in the Tampa area, so if I can help you with anything buying or selling, feel free to hit me up with the contact info below. So the first part I'm going to go with is location. So location, I would say, both are really good spots. They're really kind of contained to themselves. These are big master plan communities. Bexley probably in the realm of 2,000 homes. I'm not entirely sure the number. And Starkey, I think, is around 8,000, at least the plans. Starkey Ranch has a K through 8 school. Bexley has a K through 5 school. Starkey feeding into Mitchell High School, and Bexley feeding into Russia, and then Sun Lake locally here in Land Lakes. So they're really self-contained. So it comes to kind of what, for me, it was Bexley's proximity to the veterans. Bexley is literally right off exit 19 on the veterans or the Sun Coast. So it is super convenient. Both of these plans being big, they take a little bit of time to get out to, anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes, depending on where your house is located. So for me, for our house, it's about 10 minutes out of Bexley. To be right on the highway on ramp in 10 minutes is pretty cool. Whereas Starkey, most of the homes we looked at, they were all about 10 to 15 minutes to drive to 54, and then another 5 to 10 minutes to get to the veterans. So location for that alone was why we kind of liked Bexley. The other part about it was I feel like Bexley's a little bit more centrally located. I mean, with Bexley, being right on the veterans like that, you can shoot down to St. Petersburg really quick, go to the pier, 45 minutes. You can go down to Rocky Point and all that in about 30. The airport, I mean, it's super convenient for the airport. You can go right north to Crystal River, and then we're not that far from Wesley Chapel as well, whereas where you're a little bit more closer to the coast with Starkey, so maybe if Tarpon Springs is really important, maybe you go boating out of there. I know we did with the Freedom Boat Club, which I made a video on. Feel free to check my page for that. Maybe if you're going, you want to be closer to the water, that might be better. I mean, beaches, I don't know that that's better for Starkey because there's no, there's not a ton of great beaches right along, the Tarpon area. You'd have to go down to Honeymoon Island. And then other than that, it's similar time frames, especially when you take the veterans down to the Pinellas beaches. With Starkey, though, it is really close to Trinity and all that it has there. There's a lot of good stuff there. It really has everything you need right by it. So for location overall, I'll give it to Bexley. I think it's just a little bit more convenient to everything. It might save you 5-10 minutes, and I just think there's more options, especially being right off of the veterans Suncoast. It's super easy access to everything locally. Now for amenities, this is really tough. At the time of shooting this video, Bexley is redoing all of its parks. They were wooden and they were kind of falling apart basically, so they're getting redone. There's not really any parks here in Bexley. Bexley was really unique that they had like a BMX kind of bike park that you could ride around and there's jumps and stuff. It's really odd. I think it's cool. It's really unique, but nobody really uses that. I think things like tennis courts and anything like pickleball or just different stuff like that would have been a lot better than a BMX kind of park. That said, Bexley's amenities, I mean, they have the main pool, there's a small gym. It has everything you need, but I say small because it is small. And there's one other new pool that was just added. So it's very simple. It's a very simple plan. It's one of the things I kind of like about Bexley is that when you're coming in to Bexley, there's really just kind of, when you come to the second roundabout, there's really kind of the east side and the west side. And there's a little bit in front of that. So it's really simple, whereas Starkey was very big. There's, 5 or 6 different, plans within a plan. Starkey has a lot more amenities, especially a huge park with baseball fields, soccer fields. There's tennis, there's a library, all within Starkey. Publix is right on the edge. They just put in a World of Beer, Einstein Brothers Bagels. I mean, there's in the one entrance, there's Capriati's, a Yoga Six. There's a brewery, an untapped kind of like beer wall. You can just use your little wristband and get the beer. Tons of stuff in Starkey. So amenities, it just definitely blows Bexley out of the water, in my opinion, with that. However, Bexley did just add the hub in the front, and that's definitely a really cool place. So, I mean, amenities, what I'll say is like Starkey has way more. They're also not in the middle of redoing their parks, but it's more complex. There's a lot more to it. Bexley is more simple. It's more of a small town feel in a way. You definitely get to know the people in the community a lot more. I mean, I don't live in Starkey personally, but from what I see. So for the amenities, I'll definitely give that one to Starkey. So let's talk about prices of homes. This is probably one of the bigger factors for pushing us over the edge to Bexley whenever we decided. Bexley, I feel you tend to save about $50,000, give or take, to, for the same home. If you took the same exact layout and put it in Bexley and put it in Starkey, I feel generally it's around 50 grand cheaper in Bexley. So it's that slight edge over here. And then obviously when we stack the simplicity and some of the other things and being closer to the veterans, location, that all that stuff just added up for us, and that's why we decided Bexley. So I think Bexley, you have a little bit of a cost savings compared to Starkey. So Bexley gets the win in the price category. Now the last one is the vibe, and this one's going to be, it's kind of a weird thing to say, the vibe, but I don't know about you, but I know for us, when we drove around a lot of these master plan communities, there was definitely a vibe you've kind of gotten, from Long Lake Ranch to Astoria to Bexley, Starkey, even Epperson. You have very different vibes, and you kind of just have to drive the neighborhood to feel what those vibes feel like. And Bexley has this kind of craftsman, woodsy, but beach Florida coastal vibe. It's really different. I always say that the clubhouse at Bexley kind of looks like a ski lodge. Like if you blanket it with snow, it would look like a craftsman ski lodge. And it's really, really cool. Starkey, on the other hand, I mean, first of all, you have a couple different vibes throughout the neighborhood. There's an area where there's just the Spanish tile roof, so it feels very, kind of California-esque a little bit, there. And there's some real secluded areas, some real close-knit areas, with parks right in the middle. I mean, it's just so diverse, whereas Bexley, we just kind of had this one vibe that we kind of liked. It was like, it just gives you it gives you the best big benefits of a master plan community with a small town feel. That's kind of why we like the vibe of Bexley. So it's total bias because we live here, and that's why I'm, going that way. I don't think there's anything wrong with Starkey. There was a moment or two where we went, maybe we should have built in Starkey, and there's still things I really, really, really like about Starkey. These are two fantastic communities. But overall for us, Bexley kind of edged out in the vibe. So taking the vibe, taking the price category, taking the location, the amenities we were willing to live without, because to be honest, we don't even really use the amenities enough as it is in the HOA. We don't really get, with kids, we don't really have enough time to use them. So they're nice to have, but it's not that. Typically we can drive to something pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff in the area as it is, but that was the one trade-off I would say that we lost. So if you have any questions about any of the two plans at all, I've been in both extensively, so feel free to leave a comment down below. Happy to answer anything I can. And also go to FloridaHomeTool.com and check that out there. I'll tell you the ways to get the most money out of the sale of your home, as well as you can view homes in both of these plans on that site. So go there, connect with me. I'd love to help you buy or sell a home here in the Tampa area. So thanks for tuning in. Check out some other videos on my channel. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you around.